your teaching job? Like like I know you're a permanent teacher.
Okay.
So how did you go about? Did you apply through agency or you applied directly to the school?
Okay, to start with, I came into the UK as a student. I came to study for my master's, and while I was doing my master's, I wasn't just comfortable with doing manual jobs. Yeah.
Mm,
So I started. No one told me about teaching in the UK. I just picked up
mm,
my phone when I got in here and I searched because that was what I was doing in Nigeria. And I searched
mm,
on Google, can I teach in the UK? And Google
mm.
brought out things for me to read. I can start as a cover supervisor and everything.
Yeah,
And then I applied to a particular um agency, and then I was given a job.
okay.
And then after I was given a job, I started teaching, and it was going on well. Some of the schools I'm being posted to, they will like you, give you a
Mm,
long term, call your agency to retain you in their school.
yeah.
And then I was working with a particular school in my city, and then I've been working there for quite a while before the deputy head teacher came to me and asked, Gideon, wouldn't you mind teaching permanently here? And I was like,
Wow.
I haven't got QTS. And she said, yeah, I know, but we've got a position for teacher of science, and that we would like you to join our school. But unfortunately, I was still a student, so I can't work more than 20
Mm,
hours.
okay.
So I spoke with my agency, and my agency said, Gideon, we're sorry, you can't work more than 20 hours, so you won't be able to have the job.
Mm,
And then I continued working there as a cover supervisor. So
okay.
few months to the completion of my studies in the UK for my master's, one of the deputy director, the deputy head teacher came to me again and said, Gideon, do you know you can have your QTS even the, with the fact that you are from Nigeria without having your PGC and everything? I was like, wow, how? And then she gave me a particular book to read. And then she told me, whatever help you need, if you need reference for Department
Uh,
of Education from Home Office, we're gonna
mm-hmm.
help you out and everything.
Wow.
And I was like, oh. So when I got home, I was reluctant about it because I was thinking it is impossible. So I just decided to call the number she asked me to ring. So I rang the number and I told the person, I spoke with the person that I read the book and that there was opportunities for some countries to apply for their QCS in the UK. And I've got my master's, my degree in Nigeria, and I want to apply. And then the person was telling me you have to complete your master's here before you apply and everything. I was like, okay. So when I got to the school the second day, I spoke to the deputy head teacher again, and she said, no, just apply. Don't worry, we'll give you reference for Department of Education, and then you'll be given. And then
Wow.
I applied. And then the TRCN
Mm,
issue. You have to pay. You have to keep
yeah.
calling to know whether your letter of I've forgotten that
Professional standing. That's our
professional
professional
standing.
standing.
Thank you. Yeah. So I just knew I've done everything, and I was waiting. So I met some people who had also applied, and I asked them. They told me they've been waiting for over 6 months. I
Mm.
was like, oh, 6 months. Okay. But fortunately, in less than 3 months, I think 3 months,
Wow.
mine was out. Maybe because of what the deputy head teacher did, the
Yeah, I think
reference
so. I think so.
and
Because
everything.
mine took a year. Yeah, I think that is because of
3 months, three
wow.
months out. And then I
Wow.
just received it. But unfortunately, when the QTS was out, I had left the school where I was
Oh,
teaching, where the deputy head teacher wanted me to stay. I'd gone to another school to start working, in which I
uh,
was called to work for them for long term. And then I couldn't just go back to that school because I was just like, they've got, because then, you know how schools work here. When they needed
mm,
someone, they look for how to get someone quickly. There's no vacancy for science teacher of science anymore. So I had to
yeah.
look in another direction. And then
Great.
that was how I started teaching. And since then, since my QTS came, I decided I'm not working as a cover supervisor anymore or a
Yeah.
supply teacher. I want to
Mm,
work as a full-time teacher because of many things I've considered, many things. Because
mm,
number one, there are many opportunities attached to it. You know,
yeah.
number one, the pay scale, the holiday pay,
Mm-hmm.
um, the opportunities you have all around the world. For example, if
Yeah.
I want to teach in America, all I just need is a letter from my school and then I'll be
Yeah.
transferred. You
Yeah.
know, I can travel to any country in the world using my school reference to let them know I'll
Yeah.
be returning back to UK, irrespective
Yeah.
of any country I travel to. And then
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten many visas since I just started working as a
Wow.
permanent teacher. And, many things, many things, many things, and
Wow.
USA and the likes. So
Wow.
it's been very beneficial and it's been good. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Gideon, for coming to my channel. Do you have any advice for teachers that are still back home or they're just in here and they're still
Okay.
finding their way into teaching?
For teachers back home, I've had a lot of people asking, what do they do next? They've
Mm.
gotten QTS in Nigeria, but they don't know how to
Yeah.
get here.
Hmm.
So, and I've told them, um, I think people who got their QTS here have got more privilege than people who got their QTS back home.
Yeah. Yes.
And let me start with this. If you've got your QTS back home, don't lose faith. Um, it's a normal process. It might be a little bit tedious than someone who is here already. I just keep telling them is don't come with visiting visa. No school will employ you with visiting visa.
Mm.
Don't do that because it's impossible for them to employ you with visiting visa. Even though the
Yeah.
school has a sponsorship, they will ask you to return back to Nigeria and then reapply because it's part of the law here. No employer
Hmm.
can employ you directly with a visiting visa. So the
Yeah.
advice I do give them on your QTS, the email in which you are sent your QTS, there's a link beneath that QTS. Beneath that email, you will see
Yeah.
the UK email, gov.uk teacher
Yes.
vacancy, something, something. Make
Hmm.
use of that link. That's the best bet.
Mm.
Click on that link. Um, Make sure you use the filter on that link to marginalize your search for schools that only got sponsorship. We have thousands
Mm.
of schools that have sponsorship in the
Yeah.
UK.
Yes.
Thousands. So apply to the schools that has got sponsorship in the UK and make sure, because schools in the UK here doesn't use CV. That's the most unfortunate part of it.
Mm.
When you're applying for a permanent job here, there's no CV. Nobody wants to see your CV. All they
Mm.
are concerned about, all they are bothered about is your experience.
Experience.
Because
Yes.
your experience will make them know which pay scale they would put you on.
Mm.
So that's the only thing they need. So if you've been teaching for, let's say, 5 years, they can place you on M5 or M6.
Mm.
If you have been teaching for 7 years, they can put you in UPS if you are very lucky,
Mm.
depending on the school. So
Yeah.
marginalize your filter to schools that has got sponsorship. Make sure the schools you will put as your experience are schools that has professional email.
Emails. Yeah.
Don't just put any local school they won't be able to contact. They won't collect any mobile number to call.
Mm.
They need a professional email such that when they search the name of the school, the email will appear on their website.
Mm.
So what I do advise people is the school you will put as your previous experience must be a good school that has a good track record
Yes.
and a pedigree that can be searched. So they
Mm.
would search on Google themselves to see if that school is true, if
Yeah.
it's truly on a verified website, and if it has got a professional email. So you drop the professional email such that the school can do reference for you.
Mm.
And make sure that any school you're dropping as your preference, you can drop 2 schools. I do tell people 2 schools, 2 schools are enough. You don't need 10 schools, just like in Nigeria where you are preparing your CV. You want them to know that you've worked in many schools.
Mm.
No. UK wants to see if you have worked, even if it is one school. Have you worked in a school for like 10 years? They want to see your level of commitment, loyalty, and faithfulness to a particular organization you are working with.
Mm.
Not you moving from 3 months here, 6 months there, 1 year there.
Yeah.
No.
Mm.
So even if it is 2 schools, make sure at least in one school you have 3 years and
Mm.
communicate with the HR of that school. That's okay, I'm doing
Yeah.
this particular thing. You'll be contacted for reference. Please give them the qualities that you know will convince them to be able to employ me.
Mm. Yeah.
So that is that for people who have got their QTS in Nigeria. So if you haven't gotten your QTS, the program is still on. They would never stop needing teachers here. It
Mm.
won't stop. The demand will continue to increase per time because they
Mm.
have few numbers of teachers here, and those they've got are retiring on a large scale.
You,
They are not
yeah.
recruiting. Their citizens are not joining the way they are projected it to be. So if you are checking
Mm,
the amount of new teachers joining the education system in the UK, I don't know if I'm statistically correct, but I think 60% are foreigners. I think
mm,
so. The demand will keep increasing. So don't lose hope.
yeah.
Apply. You'll be given the QTS. Use the link that is under that email of the QTS. Marginalize your filter for the ones that have sponsorship. Apply. You will be called for interview, and for online teaching, you'll be asked to teach online. So
Okay.
interview is something else. We can't start with the interview now because it will take a whole lot
Yeah.
of time again. Because
Yeah.
I have many people here who have been attending many interviews, many micro teaching, and you will think because they are laughing at you during the interview, you've gotten the job, and
No.
they say no, no,
Mm,
no. The fact that they are all laughing and shaking their heads with what
mm,
you are saying doesn't mean you
yeah.
are saying the correct thing. So,
Yeah.
what to say during the interview is, I think, if we have time, is another podcast or another video
Yes, yes.
entirely.
Mr. Gideon
And
has to come back for that.
how to prepare for your micro teaching too is another thing entirely. And
Mm,
what to do immediately you get to the school at first is another thing entirely. See,
exactly.
everything here is a process. From
Mm,
the first time you get to that reception and they ask you what you are here for, that is where your interview started from,
mm,
because everything is a process.
yeah.
And in this UK, I think I've been to about 4 or 5 interviews. Yeah, four or
Mm,
five. So
oh,
it's a different process entirely. Some interview I failed, not because I haven't done well, but because I don't understand the process.
mm,
Yeah, so um it's that one is another thing. Now, for people that are here, if you are a cover supervisor just like you, there are
mm,
some opportunities that can sprout out in your school.
mm,
If they want to make you a permanent teacher, although still dependent on how your agency will release you. Because some
mm,
agency will say, okay, we still want her to work for 3 months before
yeah.
we you can give her your contract and everything. But I
Yes.
still believe that is still better than you going outside to look for job. It is better
Really?
to stay in that school, yeah, than
Okay.
going outside to look for job. It is not easy getting it outside. It can be
Mm,
easy getting it inside because you understand the school teaching policy, philosophy,
yeah.
pedagogy, than going
Mm-hmm.
to another school which you do not understand
Yeah.
and you might not get the job. But for
Mm,
your school, they know your antecedents, they know how you've been teaching. So
yeah.
it will be like a soft grant for you to land on
Mm, yeah.
during your interview.
Yes.
So don't think because your school is, yeah, some people will say my school is challenging, their problem and everything is, and then there's no school that is so easy. No, not even a single one.
Yeah.
Not,
You're right.
especially for we foreigners that we are coming from a different culture and background.
Mm,
We just have to keep learning per time.
yes.
Yeah. So, and then after the job, it's another process again. Another process again. Because everyone just keep becoming your friends when you first started and you think, they are so lovely here. Every teacher is greeting me. Everyone is
Mm,
asking me if I'm all right, preparing tea for me during lunch. Do you want tea? Do you want coffee? And you think it's a process.
mm,
Yeah, they
mm,
are trying. There's a thing to that, and
yeah.
there's something they are doing to make out something from you to be
Mm,
able to know if you will pass your probatory session or
section
not.
on that. Mm.
So it's another podcast entirely again. So many things, many
Yeah.
things, many things, you know. And there's a place of progress here. There's a place of
Mm,
progress. I would advise if you have started working here after 6 months, make sure you join the union. It is very
mm,
important.
mm.
Join the teaching
Teachers,
union.
teachers also have their own union.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Join the
Mm,
teaching union, and there are
mm,
many opportunities there. Many
mm,
opportunities. You keep
mm,
increasing in your pay scale per year, and there are
yeah.
internal development scheme. There are programs you keep doing to keep improving you. Here, they don't think because we are the one that employ you. For example, they paid thousands of pounds to train you for a particular program, and then after that, you can tell them you are leaving. They believe you are leaving to help the UK, not to help their school. So they are not. There's no string attached because you are leaving. They are not having any issue with you because they know you are still going somewhere else to help the country.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? So a
Yes,
lot of
yes.
things, and then you can start. I have many people working in the UK here who are British. They don't have more than their normal degree, and yet today they are principal. Today they are part of the SLT. Get what I'm trying to say? So it's a process. It's a process. You just have to learn it. Just have to
Yeah.
learn it. So let me just drink some water here, so you can. If you have any other questions, so we can be able to answer.
Yeah, we're good for today's video. Thank you, Mr. Gideon, for coming. And like he said,
You're
he's
welcome.
definitely coming back. Yes, he's definitely coming back. So because he has to tell us the interview process, he has to tell us what will happen after the interview process. You're now employed your first 3 months, your first 6 months, your probation period, what is going to happen, and how you can overcome any challenge that comes your way. So we're going to do that in another video. So stay tuned.
So
And
so sorry to cut you short. I need to
okay.
say this to teachers already working in the UK. Please, you have to be very, very careful just
Yeah.
for yourself. The student can put you in trouble, the student can elevate you. Safeguarding is something very important here because we have many people who are just coming into cover supervisor and supply teacher who has ruined their DBS because of their naivety. There's no, how will I call it? I'm looking for the right word for it. There's no leverage for naivety. They won't say because you don't know, you
No,
should go
yes,
scot-free.
yes, yes.
There's no leverage for naivety. You have to be very careful, very careful. There are many things. That's why, as a cover supervisor, before you go to that school, there are some documents you sign. Those documents means you've read and understood the terms and conditions. So if the
Yeah.
school bring up some charges against you, there's nothing to wash yourself clean because some of the documents you've signed had denoted that you've understood the terms and the condition. So it's a very fragile and sensitive profession
Yeah,
because
it is.
some people think they don't want to work in care home, they don't want to do support, they don't want to work in the warehouse. The money the agencies are paying them for supplies, worthwhile. They only work for 6 hours in a day. Everyone
Yeah.
is rushing to be a supply cover teacher, and we are having many casualties and complications
Yeah.
every day. If I keep sharing stories of many Nigerians that have gotten into serious issue here, might not be able to finish this podcast now, just because of naivety. Naivety. So, guys, we need to be really, really careful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gideon. Thank you once again for coming. So, guys, please subscribe to this channel, and share this video for someone that will benefit from this. And I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys. Thank you so
Bye.
much, Mr. Gideon.
You're welcome. See you soon.
See you soon.